New details in that home buyers need to earn 80% more than they did just a few years ago to be able to afford a home right now. And new reports say that 55% of Americans in one major city with millions of people need government assistance to even survive. I'll give you the details of that and more in this video. Let's jump right in. Thanks so much for liking these videos. Here we go. Yeah, so this is the state of the United States today. Home buyers need to earn 80% more money than in 2020 to afford a house in this market. Remember, things were not good in 2020. That was during the pandemic, which was not a good state for anything, right? It's not just due to high mortgage rates. Things are looking pretty bleak here. Take a look at this here. Two recent studies suggest that prospective homeowners will have to earn more than $100,000 annually to afford a typical home in much of the United States. Yeah, this is a major jump from just 4 years ago, when at a time when fewer homes on the market and mortgage rates and housing prices were significantly lower. Housing hunters, meanwhile, haven't seen their wages increases at nearly the same pace. Housing costs have soared over the past 4 years at drastic hikes in home prices, mortgage rates, and rent growth has far outpaced wage gains, says Zillow senior economist. Good luck pronouncing that name. A six-figure threshold Zillow analysts released in February found that prospective homeowners would have to earn more than $106,000 annually to be able to buy a typical home in the United States. That's an 80% increase from the $59,000 yearly income the website predicted a household would need to comfortably afford a home in 2020. An 80% increase. In a separate study released Monday, the financial website Bankrate suggested that Americans would need to rake in over $110,000 per year to afford a median-priced home, which the outlet said now costs $402,000. The income level surged nearly 50% from its 2020 estimate. Quote, home values are near record highs, and if you want a home, you have little choice but to pay a high price. The national median household income, according to data from the U.S. Census Bureau, is around $74,500. Now, the problem with this is that, well, a lot of people don't earn $100,000, which is a significant problem. People on fixed income only got a 3% raise. If you, at your job, didn't get a raise or got a small raise of 5% or anything like that, you are losing significantly. The other problem here is if you're a single person and you're not earning $100,000 or more, if you have a spouse and you're a teacher or something like that, you're probably losing out significantly. The other problem here is that interest rates are sky high, 7% plus, have added over $500 just in interest, which is money flying out the window, just going straight to the banks. And, well, this is literally just a sunk cost. This is money just gone out the window. This is affecting people with their homes, with their cars, with their credit cards, with anything that you borrow money on. People might not even think about credit card interest as borrowing money, but really interest is going out everywhere, right? It's just money going out the window. It's like driving down the street and taking a stack of 20s and throwing it out the window. Higher interest rates are doing this, and we haven't even seen interest rates come down even a slight nickel at all. And when they do come down, it's not going to be a quick, dramatic drop. either. It's going to be, a nick at a time. Okay. The other problem here is home prices have not come down at all. Okay. So this is another major problem here, is that home prices stayed high because nobody wants to sell their home. You have a 3% interest rate, or even lower than 3% interest rate, or anywhere around that interest rate. A lot of people just don't want to sell their home because, well, if you have 3%, and if you sell your home just to move down the street or across town, you're selling a 3% interest rate home to get a 7% or higher interest rate home just to move down the block. It could cost you $1,000 more just in interest, $700, $800, $1,000, who knows what it is, just to move to a similar home or slightly upgraded home or slightly downgraded home. The cost just isn't worth it. So people aren't selling, and this kept homes high because of the supply and demand. There's just not the inventory. So homes are still getting snapped up like right away. So homes stayed high. So when interest rates do come down, there's going to be a surge of buyers out there saying, okay, interest rates are coming down. Let's go buy. Now's our time, which is going to just, the supply and demand just is out of balance. Okay. So when the surge of buyers come out there, there's going to be maybe a surge of sellers come out there, and that's just the prices aren't going to come down. If anything, they might go up. Okay. So this is the problem, is that the prices never came down for homes. If anything, they could go up when interest rates come down. The other problem here is we're seeing stories like this in high cost of living areas, and not even just that, all across the United States. Half of New York City families lack enough income to survive without government assistance. Take a listen to this.
We know the cost of living in New York City has skyrocketed. Pay hikes are not keeping up with inflation. A new study out today says the true cost of living has gotten so high, half of the families in the 5 boroughs do not have enough income to make ends meet. They need some kind of assistance. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Anthony Carlo.
What are you going to do, not eat? Not pay your rent?
What a conundrum for a middle-class New Yorker to be in. Erasmo is a paralegal, his wife a supervisor.
We make decent salary, but it's still not enough to survive in New York City.
They're considering moving with their 3 kids to Tennessee.
We figured that if working New Yorkers can't make it in New York City, it's not great for everyone else.
The reason behind a true cost of living report that found costs in New York City have increased 131%, while median earnings went up just 71%. 36% of households lacked enough income for basic needs just 3 years ago. Now half of all New Yorkers are struggling. 3 million of them can't afford food.
The middle class is leaving the city of New York because they're paying more for childcare than they are for rent.
Darcel says she spends almost $2,700 a month on daycare.
I think there needs to be subsidies for like the middle income individuals, to help us be able to afford childcare, like meaningful childcare.
The president of United Way of New York City says it only got harder after COVID.
What we find with the people that we work with is that they're making tough choices between food and medicine.
Tuesday, this coalition put in the hands of lawmakers a blueprint for how to fix the problem.
Today, the state can raise the minimum SNAP benefit from $23 to $100. The city can make sure that HRA has enough staff to enroll people into SNAP.
A new survey by Citizens Budget Commission shows New Yorkers generally rate the quality of life as not good and much worse than 2017. Only half of more than the 6,000 New Yorkers surveyed plan to stay if they can.
How are we supposed to afford anything in New York?
Everything is just up, but the pay raise.
So that lady pays, $2,700 a month for childcare. Obviously, she works and her husband works, or maybe she's a single mother or something like that. That's over $32,000 a year just in childcare. Just in childcare. That's just one bill. Just one bill. Think about that. Then you got rent. Then you got all your other bills. Electric, food, gas, utilities. etc., etc., etc. Maybe you don't need a car in New York City. Maybe you have public transportation, but a lot of other people need cars. All this bills is why you're starting at $32,000 just for childcare. And now you're starting to realize here why $100,000 a year is now lower middle class, especially if you're in an expensive city. And if you have to go out and buy a home, rent a home, if you don't have a paid off home, which, a lot of people don't have unless they're, seniors that have been paying on a home for 30 years, this is the new reality for Americans. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here on everything going on here on a daily basis that you need to know about. Click the subscribe button down below if you haven't yet. It's completely free to do so you don't miss out on new videos. Share this video with others and click here to see the problem with inflation food costs and click here to see my newest video next. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.